We are counting down the 4 most unforgettable first encounters with Andre the Giant, as legendary WWE icons reveal the moment they realized wrestling would never be the same. From overwhelming shock at his sheer size to the technical puzzles and the unpredictable backstage power he brought, every entry captures a different kind of awe. But which superstar faced the ultimate myth head-on? Let's begin with number 1. Number 1, Hulk Hogan's first encounter with Andre the Giant felt less like meeting another wrestler and more like standing in the shadow of a living legend. In March 1981, at the Nassau Veterans Memorial Coliseum, Hogan faced Andre one-on-one for the first time. At 7'4" and over 500 pounds, Andre didn't just tower over Hogan. He seemed to warp the entire atmosphere of the arena. Hogan later described that moment as being in awe, realizing instantly that this was someone for whom the normal rules of wrestling simply didn't apply. It wasn't just defiant, though Andre's hands could swallow a man's head, and his mere presence could hush a locker room. It was the sense that you weren't just wrestling, you were surviving. But the shock started even earlier. Back in 1979, at a Florida TV taping, Hogan sat across from Andre in an arm wrestling contest. When Hogan tried to cheat with a quick shot under the table, Andre responded with a barrage of open-handed chops that left no doubt about who controlled the room. That moment stayed with Hogan for years, setting the tone for every match that followed. No matter how prepared you thought you were, Andre forced you to rethink everything. The first time wasn't just about wrestling a giant, it was about confronting the myth and feeling, for the first time, that the script had been thrown out. Hogan's story sets the stage. With Andre, you didn't just compete, you survived. In second place, Bret "Hitman" Hart remembers his first match with Andre the Giant as a lesson in instant adaptation. Unlike facing any other opponent, stepping into the ring with Andre meant that 80% of Bret's usual offense was suddenly useless. Moves that worked against everyone else, like suplexes or Irish whips, were simply off the table. Andre's mask would not budge, and even basic leverage was gone. Bret has described it as having your standard offense neutralized, forcing you to rewrite your strategy on the fly. Instead of trying to lift or outmuscle Andre, Bret had to get creative. He targeted Andre's legs, worked the base, and relied on chain wrestling instead of power. In his own words, Andre could shut down your entire playbook just by standing in the right spot. The match became a test of ring psychology, not athleticism. Bret's technical approach, normally his greatest strength, had to be reinvented in real time. That first encounter did not just change Bret's tactics for one night, it shaped how he thought about wrestling giants for the rest of his career. Against Andre, the rules were not just different, they were completely rewritten. Number 3 belongs to Jake the Snake Roberts, whose first encounter with Andre the Giant played out less like a wrestling match and more like a lesson in psychological warfare. Before the bell ever rang, the tension was already thick. In 1989, backstage at Saturday Night's Main Event, Jake walked the corridor with Damien, his infamous Python. Stories from that night still circulate among road agents. Andre, a man who dwarfed everyone in the building, froze at the sight of the snake. He backed away, muttering curses in French, his legendary bravado suddenly replaced by genuine fear. Roberts has described the moment as surreal, one of those memories he still cannot quite believe. The intimidation was not just in the ring. Andre's presence backstage was enough to change how wrestlers cut their promos, how they walked the halls, and how they planned their matches. For Jake, facing Andre meant realizing that the wild card was not just the snake in the bag. It was Andre himself, unpredictable and larger than life, even when the cameras were not rolling. Number 4 brings the perspective of Bruno Sammartino. His first encounters with Andre the Giant unfolded in the early 1970s, when the WWF territory was dominated by local heroes and touring attractions. In those days, Andre's arrival was more than just another match on the card. It was an event that transformed the entire atmosphere of the arena. Promoters plastered posters across the Northeast. billing Andre as the eighth wonder of the world, and attendance would surge by as much as 40% when he was paired with a star like Bruno. Fans responded with awe, often rising to their feet in applause before the bell even rang. Bruno later described Andre not simply as a wrestler, but as a phenomenon. He drew crowds on scale alone and made every night feel historic. Those early tours proved that Andre's appeal cut across eras, boosting box office records and cementing his place as wrestling's most enduring spectacle. Across all four encounters, one truth stands tall. Andre wasn't just big, he redefined what it meant to face the impossible. Legends adapt, but only one became a legend by existing.